What's going on, Giants fans? Got some breaking news. Breaking news on a Friday. The Giants have agreed to a contract extension with safety slash cornerback Logan Ryan for 3 years, $31 million, according to Ian Rapaport and Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan tweeted about it. And then Rapaport said it's $20 million guaranteed. Like and subscribe to the channel, by the way. So this to me is really exciting because I love Logan Ryan. I like the way he plays. I love the way he plays with Patrick Graham. But let's break down the contract a little bit. 3 years, 31 mil. 20 mils are guaranteed. So this is totally speculation. But when you see something like that, to me, it seems like it's going to be it's essentially a 2-year deal, and you could cut him after the second year with basically no cap penalties. No dead cap. That's what it looks like to me. Obviously, it could be different, but 20 mil, when 2/3 of it's guaranteed on a 3-year deal, I would assume that the third year is basically, you could cut him with no penalty. So, and that's like a good value for Logan Ryan. We know how valuable he's been. 10 mil a year, like, to me, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for him. And he's been so important to this team. I mean, this year he has 83 tackles. He's got like a sack, an interception, tackles for a loss, QB hits. And what's valuable about Logan Ryan, man, is you can play him all over the field. There's been times when they put him at deep safety, at a half safety, down in the box, blitzing. They've used him in some, covering a tight end and man coverage. They've used him in so many different ways, and he's such a versatile player, man. Like, he's a huge value to what Patrick Graham is trying to do as a defensive coordinator, man. And then now the Giants have, like 3 safeties that can play all over the field. Jabril Peppers, Xavier McKinney, all 3 of those guys can play all over the field. They can play box, deep. They can, bump down the corner when you need them to. Logan Ryan's made his money in his career at corner. Xavier McKinney, he's gotten his real snaps so far this season at corner, filling in for an injured Darnay Holmes. So, man, it's good to have him back. And he seems to be like a really well-liked guy. He's loved. He's a hometown kid. He's from New Jersey, went to Rutgers. So I'm glad to have him back, man. He's one of my favorite players on this team. And he's just so valuable to what Patrick Graham is trying to do, where it's just versatility. He is the definition of versatility. Like I said, you play him a cornerback, safety, deep safety, box safety. And Patrick Graham has used him in the way, like when he disguised his coverage. Logan Ryan has a lot of times been the main piece of that. Like the interception at the end of the game against Washington. Logan Ryan was the main piece of that, playing like a robber role. So good to have him back. I did mention Xavier McKinney. I don't know how they go about, but now we have 3 safeties. I think we're going to be using 3 safeties a ton on the field once Xavier McKinney really gets into his role. And now we have depth. Julian Love now is depth. Adrian Colbert, who was pretty solid when he was in the beginning, depth. And good teams have depth. So it's a good piece, man. Like I want to be at a point for the Giants where we're keeping our good players and not trading them away or letting them go to save money. So I'm glad Pep is Logan Ryan's back. What else do I have? Good teams have depth. Love, maybe you can bump him back down the corner. I know he didn't have the greatest game, but he hadn't played cornerback in 2 years since he was at Notre Dame. So I'm not going to, get rid of the cornerback dreams for Logan Ryan or Julian Love there. Yeah, man. Now this is the part where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. This is 9 days before the season ended, and this is a big deal. This contract is a big deal. This isn't nobody. Dave Gettleman was involved in this. This, to me, signals that Gettleman's going to be back. Obviously, it's totally speculative, but this, to me, signals that a guy making deals 9 days before the season is over is probably going to be back, and that's what we've told you guys. Don't listen to these guys that have 30,000 followers and stuff, and here's a report I saw from some guy with 30,000 followers where he said, the thought is that they're probably going to move on from Gettleman. They haven't made their decision depending on what happens in these next 2 games. Where it's like, you basically just did a report, you got the clicks, but you can't be wrong because you built yourself an out. So this to me signals that Dave Gettleman's going to be back. I'm going to call Justin right now because he commented saying he disagreed. So I want to hear what Justin thinks.
Hello.
Hi, you're live on the video. Why
I'm live
do you?
on the video.
You are. What makes you think that this means Dave Gettleman? I think this means Dave Gettleman's back. What makes you think that it might not be?
I think this might be more of a Judge move because Logan Ryan, former Patriot guy, and Judge making the initiative to get this guy to stay for 3 years during the season over other guys like Tomlinson, Williams, who have more Gettleman ties. Logan Ryan is definitely a guy that has more Judge ties. So that's why I basically think that this is more of a Judge move.
It could be more of a Judge move, but Dave Gettleman was obvious, like he was involved, like no doubt.
Well, Kevin Abrams is also the main guy behind the cap numbers and contract extensions and negotiating these contracts. And even if Dave Gettleman is removed or steps down, whatever, from his general manager position, that doesn't mean anything for Kevin Abrams.
So, but okay, to me, Kevin Abrams doesn't really mean moving on, though. But so, okay, I just wanted to hear
because there's two pieces, and we could obviously be wrong. There's two pieces of evidence here that says Logan Ryan tied to Joe Judge. Kevin Abrams is the guy that manages the cap anyway. So Dave Gettleman it doesn't have as much influence on this as people may think.
Yeah, I agree. But also, it's 9 days before the season's over, and like Kevin Abrams does the cap stuff. Logan Ryan could be a Joe Judge guy, but at the end of the day, the general manager is the one who makes the decision on that. And I don't see them making the decision with him not involved in it. But I could be wrong too. It's all speculation. All right, I just wanted to hear your opinion on the video.
Wonderful. Enjoy the video.
All right, bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. He knows I don't celebrate Christmas, and it bothers me when he says Merry Christmas to me. So yeah, but I mean, they could have waited. So Dave Gettleman, I think this signals he's going to be back, and I already thought he was going to be back just because of what he did in the 2020 offseason. And this has been my point with a lot of people that they decided to bring him back this year. And since they decided that, he's been really good. Like even the biggest Dave Gettleman haters admit that 2020 was really good by Dave Gettleman, and they decided to bring him back. So no matter what you thought of his 2018 and 2019, the Giants thought it was enough to bring him back. So I think Gettleman's going to be back, and I really am on the middle with Gettleman, where it's like I do see a lot of the things I do like, but also, we haven't won. We just haven't won. We had this 3 years, and we're not winning. So I don't think I'm going to change anybody's opinion on that. But as far as what I think's going to happen, I think Dave Gettleman's going to stay. So if you liked the video, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys. Let's go Big Blue.